So this presentation is with regards to the cover letter. When you apply for a job, you may be asked to complete a cover letter. It is also known as a letter of interest or an application letter. So this letter will accompany your resume and probably your list of references when you apply for a position. So we do have an example right here. Notice that your heading of the cover letter, this will probably match your resume heading just to keep the documents consistent. And then you have different parts of the letter. So we have the contact info, the date, the delivery address, the person that you're writing to, usually in the Human Resources Department. And then you'll basically have 3 paragraphs. So we have the first paragraph introducing ourselves and maybe how we heard about the job. And then we have some measurable achievements. This person decided to do a bullet point list, and that's fine. I'll just probably show you more examples of paragraph. And then the last paragraph is about the request of an interview. So like I said, the cover letter shows interest in a particular position at an organization. You can also write one for a post-secondary school. So if you have a school that you're really interested in, I would actually tell you, write them a letter. The worst thing that could happen, maybe they throw it in the garbage. But I'm telling you, probably 99% of the time, they're going to read it because that's something that high school students would not do. That is not the norm. It is a brief summary of your resume, but it's not going to parrot the resume. So you want to take some key highlights of your resume and then go into a little bit more detail in the letter. And you definitely want it to be great grammar and error-free because it is your first communication, besides obviously talking to somebody on the phone. So you want your audience to be attentive. You want to try to reflect your personality, even though the letter is less than 1 page. Still try to put your personality in there and don't fake it so they can kind of see through if somebody is faking a certain personality or a certain tone. So just be yourself. And remember, your cover letter is a bridge to your resume. You want them to turn the page and want to read your resume. So that's why it's important that your cover letter is error-free and comes across in a positive way. So you're going to keep it conversational. You're going to brag about yourself. And another word I use for brag is be proud. Be proud of your accomplishments. Think now the last 2 years of high school or 3 years if you're a senior. Think about everything that you've done. Think about those late nights you've been up to studying for a test, or maybe studying days in advance for a test, or working in QRT. I mean, or even practicing hours a day, for a sport. That's a big deal. So be proud of that. Know your audience, know the company, know the school that you are writing to. Do your research, know what maybe know their core values, reflect that in your letter. I learned very early that when you apply for a job, use the wording that was in the job posting. Put that in your letter, put that on your resume, and those words will pop out to the company. So the next slides go over the content and the format of the letter. So for the content, you definitely want to mention the position you're applying for because they may have multiple positions that they are currently filling. And then maybe look at the current events of the company. Acknowledge what the company is doing and how you could help in that capacity if possible. And then any qualifications that you may have from prior jobs or your academic standing. And so you really want the reader to know why you want to work for them, why you fit in with them, and how you qualify. You'll refer the reader to your resume. You could do that in the first paragraph. You could do that in the second paragraph. It's up to you. And then in the last paragraph, you will request an interview. That is not being forward. That is what you do. You have to be a little aggressive to get to get by in this world. All right, and then the format. So there are 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph, you'll just talk about the job, how you learned about it, any personal contacts, and then your general qualifications for the job. The body, this is going to be more detail. So look at your resume. I would say whatever on your resume jumps out, that maybe whatever pertains to or relates to the job that you're applying for, that is what you want to show. So once again, if you are applying for a web design position, then you would want to show classes you've taken, maybe companies you worked for. That would be very important. And then the concluding paragraph, this is where you request the information, say where you can be reached, maybe your contact information. Well, your contact information will be above, so maybe just mention that. And then, thank your reader. I give you an example. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your consideration, that sort of thing. So some things to avoid: one size fits all. If you're sending this to multiple companies, you really do need to tailor it to the business. So be careful with the one size fits all. Also be careful with being too demanding, and also be careful with being desperate. So just be assertive. I think that's the best word. And then also no more than the 3 paragraphs. Okay? If you do not know who you are writing to, I would call the company, ask them, who will I be interviewing with if I would get a call? Or just go on the website and search under human resources. Generally, you'll find a name under like the human resources director or something like that. And then we talked about becoming pompous and then just parroting the resume. So remember that the cover letter is a bridge. You want them to turn the page to that resume and then hopefully give you a phone call. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop by. I'm going to be putting examples of cover letters online. Please don't copy them, but they're just used so you guys get an idea of what the cover letter is. But once again, stop by if you have any questions, email me, and I hope you do decide to complete the cover letter. It's quite valuable.